thank the gentleman from Pennsylvania for yielding time. Madam Speaker, as a proud Texan, I'm proud to give my first remarks on the floor of the United States House of Representatives today on the important issue of border security, critical to my district and critical to the state of Texas and our nation. Hundreds of thousands of people seek to come to this country, both legally and illegally, each year. They are drawn to the hope of the greatest free society the world has ever known. But we are in danger of losing that which separates us from the other nations of the world, the rule of law. Nowhere is that more pronounced than the chaos and the lawlessness of our southern border. Freedom cannot flourish in chaos. Prosperity cannot emerge from fear. Yet we have failed to secure our nations because members on both sides of the aisle have buried their heads in the sand over the last several decades, talking instead of doing. Americans are weary of our opinions and ready to see us do the job we were sent here to do. This isn't about numbers or statistics. It's about people. It's about Jared Vargas, a vibrant young college student studying computer science with dreams of working in the cybersecurity field. His life was cut tragically short when he was brutally murdered by an illegal alien in San Antonio last June. Jared's mother, Lori, his twin brother, and his younger sister don't care if I personally believe fences would be more effective than drones or vice versa. And they don't care if one of my colleagues believes that 2,028 homicide charges against illegal aliens in 2018 is not enough to justify a border wall. For them, one matters enough. The Vargas family does care that Jared's murderer had been in ICE custody twice, had been arrested for a DWI, and released just a month before he killed Jared. This current debate before us has a face. It has a name, and that name is Jared. And his family wants justice for Jared. But it's also about the little girl who today will be exploited by drug cartels who know that sex trafficking can be more lucrative than trafficking drugs. It's about the young woman in Central America who saves money and pays every last dime she has to someone who promises to take her to a better life in America, only to be forced into a shipping container. She wakes up in Greece to find that she's been sold into the sex trade and there's no one around her who speaks her language. According to Doctors Without Borders, roughly 1/3 of women making their way across the border are victims of sexual assault. I'm old enough to remember as a Senate lawyer when Senator Tom Coburn spoke on the Senate floor in 2007 about rape trees. And I find it unacceptable that today, a decade later, the border is littered with the clothes of the new victims because we've failed to do anything as a body, as a Congress. In my visits to the border, one thing is clear. Dangerous cartels are calling the shots. I was talking to a Border Patrol agent last summer. He said, I'm down here at night. I'm by myself. I have no cell, no radio. I can't see the river through the thick cane. I can't drive along the river. And the cartels have operational control of the border. That's what we're sending our guys down on the river in the Rio Grande to do to defend this nation. So it's time for us to put partisanship aside and secure our border. Fences, cameras, radios, cell phones, more Border Patrol agents, additional immigration judges, cleared cane, navigable along the river. We need all these tools. And to be clear, that's what's in the president's plan. That's what we're fighting to get. And to be clear again, fences are a vital and necessary part of that security. It is absurd for anyone to argue that fences do not work. Take your pick of an example throughout history, from the walls around medieval fortresses to the fencing around the White House and our military installations today. Ask a tort lawyer whether leaving your pool open monitored by drones will save you from liability if a child falls in your pool. The truth is, fences have worked since the dawn of time. We currently have 46 miles of reinforced fencing along the San Diego sector of the border. Before construction began in 1986, there were 630,000 arrests. Compare that to almost 32,000 arrests in 2016. Fences work. Yet 10 years ago, I heard members in the Senate Judiciary Committee argue that fences don't work because migrants then shifted from California to Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Only in Washington is that logic passable. Fences don't work because they worked? That may have been the first time, though it won't be the last, that I heard someone say fencing is a 1st or 3rd or 18th century solution for a 21st century problem. But in El Paso, in Yuma, in Tucson, in Israel, fencing was put in place, and we've seen reductions of up to 90% or more in illegal crossings. This body has repeatedly authorized foreign assistance to our allies to help them secure their borders, but at the same time, the House is crippled with inaction at securing our own. We've repeatedly authorized fencing for the United States of America, but we're here today trying to actually get it funded and to get it built. It's time to stop posturing about things that everybody in America knows. In Texas, let's stop talking. Let's go down to Brownsville. Let's start building the fence where we need it and work our way up the river. To my colleague who was speaking earlier about, well, where's the fence going to go? If we face an obstacle, let's discuss it. If a rancher needs access to water, we consider leaving an opening, post a guard, put up a camera, and then continue moving up the river. Let's work together for one simple goal. The United States of America should have operational control over its borders, not dangerous cartels. Many on both sides of the aisle like to pretend that we shouldn't build a fence because it might be possible to go over or under it. Of course that's possible, but that's not a reason not to build a fence. The fundamental question is this: are we more secure with agents and drones, or are we more secure with agents, drones, and fences? This is not a partisan issue, it's a humanitarian crisis. It's time for us to stop bickering or hiding behind excuses and secure the border now. It's time for America to reclaim operational control of its border, pay federal workers who are doing their job, and make America secure again. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mr. Perry.